Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 1230. Guys, if you're following along on YouTube, please jump on over to thewoddoc.com. Check out all of our full-length videos. That's where we house them. Today what we're doing is talking about the Buttwink and how the Buttwink causes back pain, or one of the ways the Buttwink causes back pain. So, what is the Buttwink? If you guys have been stuck in under a rock for a long time. Buttwink is anytime that we come into a squatted position and we come out of that neutral position, that nice flat natural position that the back should be in, and we allow our pelvis to fold under, and now it looks like that C shape, okay? So if we're going ahead and we're looking at the spine, if I'm in a position that looks like this, as I go ahead and come back into that squatting position, as my hips come back and I stay like this, we can see how we're loaded. But if I allow my pelvis to tuck under, right, I can't even really do it like that, but that's basically what you look like right there, right? And that's exactly how we can cause a mechanism to herniate a disc or anything else. And if we're lucky, we don't herniate the disc, but we just stretch out all the tissues that are on the outside here, right, and strain them back, right? So what is it that does that? Well, there's two things, right? We can either have loss of rotation of the hip or loss of hamstring length. Now remember that the hamstrings, these back muscles here, right, they are connected to the posterior chain, right? They're part of our hip complex. We often think like, oh, hey, my legs themselves, they're tight, they've been tight forever, right? But it has nothing to do with my squat, right? So if I have loss of hip flexion, right, or loss of hip rotation, right, I run out of that room as I start to squat down. And when I run out of that room in this posterior hip complex, it's going to start pulling. And as it pulls, I end up in a position that looks like that, right? Why can we get away with it when we're not loading? All right, we can get away with it when we're not loading because these tissues are resilient, right? They got us to the point where we are at in our life, right? And we're able to bend and come back and forth and load the front of these tissues, this disc material, right? We can do that, right? But what happens is that as we continually load it with heavier and heavier loads, this amount of trauma that's placed on the front of these discs, right, on these pieces of material that are between the vertebrae themselves, right, as that increases, the likelihood of rupturing one of these also increases. And if it's not that breaks down, the likelihood of straining the exterior tissues to the back increases, right? So it's super, super important that we're able to get control of our midline, stabilize that midline, right? Keep that natural curve, okay? Whether it's because of motor control, like we need to be stable and strong in that, or whether it's because of length issues. But in any case, we need to be able to hit that squat where we are able to be stable through that midline, through that lower back, have relatively little movement, right, throughout that maneuver, okay? So, Buttwink 101, why it causes back pain, how it can hurt your discs, or how it can strain or sprain the tissues in the back. Questions, comments, please post them below. And until tomorrow, we are optimizing function to optimize performance.